Hey guys, today we're flying Scoot and putting it head to head with its full service counterpart, Singapore Airlines, to see which economy class gives you the best bang for your buck. We'll compare everything from boarding to seats and food and entertainment to help you decide, is it worth saving the money or should you just pay a little extra? To compare both properly, we're starting in Chiang Mai, flying Scoot down to Singapore, then connecting onward to Adelaide with Singapore Airlines. A total flight time of approximately 10 hours. Boarding in Chiang Mai on Scoot was a bit of a shaky start. They operate a single Airbus A321 in a 3-3 layout, and boarding was slow and hectic. With only one aisle and a full flight, there's not much room to move. Now compare that to our Singapore Airlines flight. Boarding was done by section on a Boeing 787. With 2 aisles, it felt calm, organised and far more spacious. Straight away it felt like a more premium experience, even before sitting down. Let's talk seats. Here's Scoot's economy offering. They're basic, very basic, let's get that straight. There's minimal padding and no adjustable headrest, and not much contouring, just a flat, slimline seat. Width is around 18 inches with 28 inches of pitch. Legroom is just enough for me, but it's tight. In front of you there's a fold down tray table, with only those grooves to hold your cup. But the worst part was, there was no storage to be seen. No seat back pocket, no pouch, nowhere to put your belongings. Now over to Singapore Airlines, a noticeable step up. Visually they look more premium. Much better cushioning, plus a multi-adjustable headrest, which makes a big difference on the longer flights. Because let's face it, it's hard enough to get any shut-eye in an upright chair. They're a similar width at 7.5 inches, but you get a 32-inch pitch, and those few extra inches of legroom are very noticeable. You'll also get an 11.6-inch entertainment screen. From our experience, it's really responsive and has a reasonable selection of entertainment options. Just below that, you'll have your USB charging port and headphone jack, and also the call buttons. There's a small storage cubby and cup holder, and just below that, a substantial seat back pocket. And a nice touch on boarding, pre-flight hot towels. A small detail, but it sets the tone. Now onto food, and this is where the differences really started to show. On Scoot, meals are generally extra depending on your fare. The menu actually looks promising. Fried rice, black pepper beef, ginger teriyaki chicken, it sounds good on paper. But when it arrives, it feels like a supermarket microwave meal. It comes out at approximately 1,000 degrees, and the plastic film is nearly impossible to peel off without burning your fingers. The portion size, about the size of your phone, which is kinda lucky because the tray table is tiny too. The rice was unfortunately pretty terrible, clumped together and hard. Honestly, some of the worst rice I've ever had. There was also only a single chunk of meat in the black pepper beef. The curry had similar issues with the packaging. Again, it was sealed so tight, and it was almost impossible to peel off without feeling like your fingers were about to melt. And once we finally got into it, the presentation itself was pretty underwhelming. Now to be fair, at least this curry had a bit more flavour than the other one. And the basmati rice was definitely better than the other white rice. It was a bit separated, not so clumped together, so that was a small win. And again, portion wise, there was just a single piece of chicken sitting in the sauce, and just surrounded with some potatoes. For a paid meal, it felt pretty minimal. For dessert, you get a choice between a fruit bread or a biscoff. And as this one just says, it's perfect for tea time. Unfortunately, they don't actually serve you tea or hot coffee on this flight. And the thing is, both of these things are quite dry. The fruit bread especially, and needs something warm to go with it. Now to be fair, if the meal was included in your fare, you probably can't complain too much. But if you paid for it separately, which most passengers would, it rounds out a rather dismal meal overall. It's also the first time I've seen water in a carton. Alternatively, you can do what this legend did and bring a Whopper on board from Hungry Jack's. Not a bad strategy, honestly. Now over to Singapore Airlines. The service started with a small stack, a stone oven style pizza. It's not a full slice, more of a rectangular pizza bread, and if I'm honest, it reminded me a lot of the pizza breads that you get from Coles. Soft base and melted cheese on top, but not a lot of flavour. Actually, comparing the two, the basil and the margarita, we couldn't tell the difference. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing gourmet, but a solid little start that felt comforting enough to get you through to the next meal. But the main meals were the real difference. Firstly, it came on a tray with a dessert and a bread. Our first choice was the creamy chicken pasta. The sauce was really creamy and it had some big chunks of chicken mixed in with the pasta. It was surprisingly satisfying. The second choice, the prawn laksa noodle dish, was definitely the standout. It had a great aroma to it. And there were several prawns in there too, not just one lonely piece. The noodles were soft but not overcooked, and it had a real depth of flavour. And to finish, a mango and passion fruit panna cotta. It was silky smooth and creamy without being too heavy. It definitely did taste pretty sweet though. But all around, it really rounded out a really satisfying meal. And when you pair that with a hot coffee or a green tea by request, it just elevates the whole experience. Entertainment is an area where Scoot falls short. There is none. There's no seatback entertainment. They did actually advertise in-flight Wi-Fi, but there was only one small sticker across 3 seats. So we thought, great, let's give it a try. We opened up the settings and searched for the network. Nothing. We tried again later, refreshed it, still nothing. So either it wasn't switched on or it wasn't available on this flight sector. As mentioned, on Singapore Airlines, every seat comes with a full setback entertainment system. Movies, shows, music and more, so there's plenty to keep you occupied during the flight. And Wi-Fi, it's complimentary for all KrisFly members. You can join KrisFly for free, connect easily, and the speeds were actually pretty reasonable for an airline. It's probably not good enough for streaming or video calls, but it's more than enough to stay connected with family and friends and check a few messages. So how do they stack up? For us, the clear winner in terms of comfort, food and overall experience, it's Singapore Airlines. Was Scoot terrible? No, not really. For a short haul flight under 3 hours, and if you're saving a decent amount of money, it's a reasonable option. Anything longer than that, we both agree it's probably worth paying for the extra on Singapore Airlines. What do you guys think? Have you flown long haul on Scoot, and would you do it again? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this comparison helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one.